They called it a marvel of modern engineering. The Costa Concordia was one of the largest cruise ships Italy had ever built, a floating city designed for luxury, leisure, and unforgettable experiences. On the evening of January 13, 2012, the ship set sail from the port of Civitavecchia, near Rome. On board were 4,229 passengers and crew from over 60 countries, embarking on a 7-day journey across the Mediterranean. But within hours, that journey would turn into one of the most shocking maritime disasters of the 21st century. At 9:15 p.m., the ship made an unplanned deviation from its official route. The collision tore a 35-meter gash along the port side, breaching the hull below the waterline. Within minutes, the Costa Concordia lost power. Lights went out, systems failed, and panic began to spread. The first official alarm wasn't sounded until 15 minutes after the impact.
Abbiamo fatto un annuncio a nome del nostro comandante. Le chiediamo gentilmente di tornare alla vostra cabina o se desiderate essere in giro per il salone. Una volta che noi abbiamo finito di sistemare.
Passengers were left confused, many unaware of the seriousness of the situation. Some crew members told them to return to their cabins. Others insisted everything was under control. At 9:50 p.m., the ship began to list sharply. Plates crashed from tables, and people rushed to retrieve life jackets. But no general evacuation order was given until 10:10 p.m., over 40 minutes after the collision.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. The situation is under control. Please remain calm, but at this time proceed to your muster station. They're located outside on deck 4. Please remain calm. The situation is under control.
By then, the ship was tilting so severely that half the lifeboats were no longer usable. With lifeboats overwhelmed, many jumped into the icy waters to escape. Some never made it to shore. Adding to the confusion, approximately 600 passengers had never been given a lifeboat safety drill, despite being on board for hours. Crucial time was lost. Lives were lost with it. And while passengers were trying to survive, the captain had already left the ship. By 11:40 p.m., Francesco Schettino was found ashore. He later claimed he fell into a lifeboat, an explanation that sparked outrage across the globe. A recorded call with the Italian Coast Guard captured a chilling moment.
Schettino, che lei si è salvato forse dal mare, ma io la porto veramente molto male, faccio passare l'anima di guai. Vado a bordo. Sto qua per coordinare i soccorsi. Che sta coordinando lì? Vado a bordo, mi coordini i soccorsi da bordo. Lei si rifiuta? No, non mi sto rifiutando. Lei si sta rifiutando di andare a bordo, comandante? No, ci sto andando. E mi dica qual è il motivo per cui non ci va. Ci sto andando perché ci sta l'altra lancia che si è fermata. Lei vada a bordo, è un ordine.
When ordered to return to the ship and lead the evacuation, he refused. In total, 32 people died. Among them, an Indian waiter who went back into the ship to help others. His body was the last recovered nearly 3 years later.
The body of the Costa Concordia's last missing victim has been found amid work to dismantle the wreck of the cruise ship. Indian waiter Russel Rebello is said to have died after giving up his own life jacket to save one passenger and helping others into lifeboats.
Over 150 others were injured, families shattered, lives changed forever. And then came the questions. Was it only the captain's fault? Or was the company responsible too? Schettino insisted he wasn't the only one to blame. He claimed Costa Cruises had encouraged these close-shore maneuvers, calling them part of the passenger experience. Internal records later showed that similar sail-bys had been approved in the past. In 2015, Schettino was sentenced to 16 years in prison. But the company, Costa Crociere, was fined just €1 million. No executives faced criminal charges. Meanwhile, a massive salvage operation began. The Costa Concordia lay partially submerged off Giglio's coast. Raising it became one of the most expensive and complex maritime recovery efforts in history. Over 500 workers from 26 countries spent months stabilizing and refloating the ship. It was towed to Genoa and dismantled, piece by piece. The total cost of the disaster, an estimated $2 billion. The accident also raised deep environmental concerns. The ship had gone down near a marine sanctuary, home to dolphins, coral reefs, and protected species. Emergency oil barriers were deployed. Fuel and hazardous materials were carefully removed to prevent a spill. But even beyond the wreck, the incident exposed the dark side of cruise culture, where spectacle sometimes overshadowed safety. In the aftermath, the industry was forced to change. Muster drills are now required before departure. Unauthorized detours are banned. Crew training is more intense. New ships feature backup systems, improved navigation, and stronger hull designs. And perhaps most importantly, bridge leadership is no longer a one-man show. Decisions must now be made collectively, with oversight and accountability. Since the Concordia disaster, no major cruise ship has suffered a similar fate, but the memory remains. A stark reminder of what happens when human error, ego, and poor leadership collide. The Costa Concordia didn't sink because of a storm. It sank because someone made a choice, and that single decision changed everything.